Hi, good morning, everyone. Let's go ahead and start. I'm not sure if I have anyone online. Let me see on YouTube if I have anyone waiting online. If I have anyone online, let me see on YouTube if I have any. Let's go ahead and start on introduction to StackStorm. I'll share my slides. I'll go ahead and share my entire screen. So this is an introduction to StackStorm. I assume I don't assume any knowledge from anybody in this session on StackStorm. However, as a prerequisite, I asked to introduce install Docker. That's what we are using for testing and development in this session. My name is Dinesh Veerapurake. You can find my GitHub repository here. I have my email also there. You can reach me via Twitter on XYDinesh. I have been working on open source since 2005. I did Google Summer of Code in 2005 when I was in college in Sri Lanka. And then I moved to US in 2008 to my grad school. Since then, I've been working different places. Right now, I'm working as director of cloud platform for Map Anything. We are a Salesforce app company. And I'm originally from Sri Lanka. Right now, I live in Denver. I have 2 kids, boy and girl. My old boy is 7, girl is 3. So that's a little bit about myself. Let's move on to talking about StackStorm. This is the outline I'm planning to discuss today. I'm giving a little bit of introduction on what is in StackStorm and different components of StackStorm, including sensors, triggers, rules, packs, and how to install those packs and exploring different actions inside packs and so on. We do all of this inside StackStorm Docker environment. I gave a link for StackStorm Docker repository on GitHub. We will use that. Also, I will demonstrate how to write a couple of workflows. I'm most familiar with using AWS pack for writing different workflows. So I will write at least 2-3 workflows for doing some manipulations on AWS using action chain and mistral workflows. So giving a little bit of introduction on StackStorm, we can go and check it out on the website. So it's all about event-driven automation. You have different components like sensors, actions. You have triggers, which work on different rules. So you can basically perform actions based on something happened outside. For example, if I'm sending a message on Slack channel, we can detect that and perform something on whatever workflow you decided. So that's what sensors are useful for. In roles, we can define what criteria, what sensors to listen. We will work on an example to see how these roles can be useful. Also, workflows. Workflows are kind of central piece of StackStorm. You'll be writing a lot of workflows when you're starting to get used to when you're using StackStorm. Great thing about StackStorm is they have extensive docs and great supporting community. This is their documentation. You can find anything related to StackStorm in here, from including installation, configuration, configuring different actions, and also they have a great supporting community on Slack channel. So this is their Slack channel. If you go to their website and join community, it will directly bring you to sign up page for the Slack channel. You can go ahead and sign up. It is very useful when you are working on StackStorm workflows. StackStorm community is awesome, very helpful. You can ask any questions. They are very responsive. And also, if you have any contributions to make to StackStorm, they are very welcoming. Outside pull requests, they are very encouraging. I have first-hand experience sending pull requests to StackStorm. They are awesome. So I encourage to send pull requests to them. I talk about docs and Slack channel. So let's do some hands-on activities on running StackStorm on Docker. And I'll get StackStorm running on Docker, and then we'll explore the UI. In general, I'm not using UI much, so that's why I entered a bullet point here, just to remind myself to show UI. I usually use Commandline. That's very convenient to me. But if you would like to use UI, it's always there. It is. I have my coworkers find it very useful when using workflows. Let me get my font a little bit bigger. I have my StackStorm Docker environment here. I checked it out from GitHub. I have my own fork. So this is a place you can get a checkout from ST2 Docker. They have good documentation on how to get this up and running. For the first part of this session, we will go over this different section of this documentation just to get a feel for how this StackStorm working. Okay. Okay. Looks like they have some changes. Yes, I have something on it. So let me start with the fresh checkout so it is clear to everybody what I'm doing. There are some changes I did here, so I'm going to move it. I'm going to remove my SG2 Docker and get a checkout from here. Let me see if anyone has questions. No. When you get a fresh checkout, it looks like this. You have Docker Compose file. There are scripts inside bin that is useful to generate different environmental variables. And you have make file and the images file. So we'll follow the documentation. So first we run Makeenv, which generate all the environmental variable files. For example, if we try to run Docker compose up, it's throw an error because it cannot find this env file. That's what Makeenv do. It will generate unnecessary env files. That generated 3 env files. Now you can go ahead and do Docker compose up -t. It got this is StackStorm apparently now. So we have StackStorm listening on 443 and 22. 22 is not open to host environmental. And we have MongoDB, Postgres, Rabbit, and Redis. Those are requirements for StackStorm. I think Postgres is required for Mistral. They are using Mongo as their database. Let's see. Let's go and see inside. So I exec into StackStorm container. If you remember, we have StackStorm container, Redis, Rabbit, MQ, Postgres, and Mongo containers. So I want to go inside this StackStorm container. That's why I did Docker compose exec StackStorm bin bash. So I'm inside StackStorm container. Inside this container, StackStorm directory is inside /opt. You can see StackStorm. The reason why I came inside, I want to show the UI, which I can access via HTTPS localhost. I didn't assign any username and password, so I'm going to grab the generated ones from the container. And get these. So this is the UI of StackStorm. As we perform different actions inside the container, we can see that this UI get updated. As we go on, we will explore different options inside here. Inside actions, we can see different packs. We have Linux pack and core pack. And these are the pack that comes with StackStorm by default. And we have different rules. Right now, we have these rules. These are different packs, the available ones, and the docs. So let's go and run through examples from this Docker, StackStorm Docker GitHub repository. I ran them yesterday. They're pretty simple enough to demonstrate. Adding a simple action. So what I'm going to do, since I'm inside here, before that, let's see what is inside Backstair. There's nothing inside Backstair. So we are going to create examples directory and actions directory. We will copy this hello.yaml into here. If I have tree. We have hello.yaml. Let's get into it, see what is inside that YAML. So it has two different things that needs some explanations. It's name for the workflow. This is the action that we are going to do. And command line. And the runner type, we have different runner type for this one. This one we are using local shell command. We have action chain, mistral, and Python runner type, which we use to map Python scripts into workflows. And there's a description entry point. Entry point we use in different workflows. When you have multiple workflows inside, it's concept in Mistral. We'll talk about in Mistral section. But when you have workbook of workflows, we'll specify entry point to specify which workflow to execute first. And different parameters. CMD, it is immutable. That means it can be changed. And name to pass into this workflow. So since we are inside a container already, we can reload and register all those actions. Once you add new actions, we have to make sure that we run the reloading command to get all those actions registered. remember we added this inside PaxDev, and this PaxDev is already mounted into the container. If we go inside the container, we can see it's already mounted. For example, if I do, it's available here. Since we created this examples directory after we started StackStorm, we have to reload and restart whole StackStorm process to get these new actions registered. In order to do that, we use reload. I don't usually give different options because they need to go ahead and pick default configurations. Now we have registered our hello action. And also there are a few important command line options that ST2 provides. ST2 is a StackStorm command line interface. So these are different options available through StackStorm. We have action, execution, login, pack, policy. Those are different things we can use. I haven't used all of them. I have used action and execution for most of the time, and rows and triggers sometimes. Let's see available actions here. Let's do action list. It shows all actions available to us through different packs. For example, if you want to, this is a lot of information to take in. So if you want to filter based on packs, we can specify by P. We can say and it will filter all actions in CoPack. For example, say I want to know more about these actions. I like to know more about, for example, core UID. I'll say st2 action get, and it will show what parameters I can pass and what string, whether the type of the parameter I should pass. Because sometimes it is a string, sometimes it is a list, could be an object or dictionary. So it is important to check these parameters as StackStorm checking these types before accepting any parameters. As you can see, this entry point is generate UUID pi. That means this action is mapped into a Python action. Yeah, so I think you can explore these actions on the UI. I haven't done much that on UI, but let's go and explore. Yeah, so even it shows the code on the UI. That's great. All right, let's move on. Yeah, I'm going to discuss about concurrency. For this one, it is kind of an introduction. You can try it yourself. It's pretty straightforward. And next, we try to add the rule. So what it does is, when we create a file, it will give us output as it monitors that file for any changes. Since we are already inside back directory. Have actions and rules. Okay, we will copy this monitor file and then see what is inside. Is this a file? This is a file we copied. It has a name, what packet belongs to, description, and enable. And this is a trigger. We can watch different triggers. So it's basically type is Linux file was line. So it is change. It is monitoring this file for any changes. And then if that change happens, this is action to perform. It echoes and say what name of the trigger. Let's see. We can see what triggers available to us. So these are the triggers available to us right now. ST2 date timer, cron timer, and this one is a trigger we are using. It gives us information on how to use these triggers on payload. This is a payload and parameter schema. So we pass file path and yes. Okay. Let's go ahead and it is monitoring a file called watcher log, and then it echoes what's happening in this trigger. First, we have to register our role. It's pretty fast because we don't have many actions in this server. So we have this now. As you can see, we created this file. Next, we'll see whether our role monitored this file. So we are checking the execution list of this server, or alternatively, we can see it from here, history. So I'd say example hello, that's what we did. And then we have this call local that is executed based on. Yeah. So this is the output from the trigger. So you can see the same thing from the command line, which I prefer to use. Execution list. Now you can see there's a call local executed as Stanley, that is the default user of StackStorm. And in order to see more information on this one, you can see it is succeeded, didn't have any errors. And this is the echo. So basically this is the output from the trigger. And this is what we output into the std out. So that means our rule worked and that trigger worked. So those are things I wanted to show. We can go ahead and run this one too to show how to map Python scripts as workflows. Let's create my echo action inside Excel. So inside examples, we create my in the meantime, let me check if we have any questions. No. Since we have 4 viewers, I cannot see anybody. Let me check on YouTube real quick. Let me check on YouTube real quick. Let me check on YouTube real quick. If you have anyone join after we start the broadcast, sorry, I couldn't see anybody, so I don't know how many people I'm talking to. It looks like 4 or 5. So if you join after I started the broadcast, what I'm doing right now is get StackStorm started using Docker and following instructions on how to run different actions and creating different rules on StackStorm Docker repository. And next we are going to do is create Python script and create action using Python script. It is right here. Before doing that, I was checking if anyone has questions. Unfortunately, I cannot get any feedback from the audience. I know there are 4 viewers. If you like, you can join this Talk.io pilot is remote. I'll try to answer any questions if you have. Let me show. So I'm logged in right here under TLK.io pilot is remote. If you have any questions, just let me know. This is my first time doing pilot, so I'm not sure how you guys interact with each other. I'm happy to answer if you have any questions. Okay, while you guys look into this, let's see, we can get Python action up and running. So we created this Python script. This is called a meta file, which describes our workflow, where it says name of the workflow and what kind of runner type we are using. There are different runner types. We will discuss different runner types after go through these different actions. And then description enable, whether this action is enabled and ready to use. Entry point is our script that we are going to execute. And then different parameters. These parameters define what parameters we are going to pass into this Python file. Since I mentioned runner types, we can see different runner types. I usually go to StackStorm docs and find out different runner types. Usually under here, I think. No, actions. So if you go to StackStorm docs.stackstorm.com and actions, you can read through different actions. We already went through StackStorm list, action list, and filtering by tags. And this is available runners. We saw that we use local shell command in our first action, which is basically a hello world. And we have shell script, remote shell command, remote shell script, Python script. We are using it in our current action. HTTP action chain. This is workflow, and then Mistral, Cloud I'm hoping to cover at least action chain and Mistral. I wasn't planning to do anything on CloudSlam, which I haven't used yet. I've been using StackStorm about 9 months now on a daily basis almost. So these, my 90% of the time, my workflows, I'm using Mistral. Came from OpenStack. Very interesting. You can do a lot of things with Mistral. Action chain is easy to get something up and running, but it lacks some features which is available in Mistral. Yeah, I digress a little bit from our action. So this is the action we are going to use. I'll copy and paste, then we'll discuss. You can see my echo action and my echo action.yaml. So as I said before, YAML defines what kind of parameters we can pass into this my echo action. Let's go in and reload. So basically, I can send a message. There's a parameter called message. So that's what I'm going to do. So when you run action from StackStorm command line, you say st2 run and then action name. Prerequisite by the pack name, and then let's try this one. When you try, it says message is the required property. So you have to provide message. Okay, so there's something missing. Virtual environment for pack example doesn't exist. If you have installed pack install command, you can create new virtual environment using this command. So let's do that. So created successfully. Yep. So it ran our message and execute, echo it back to us. So I think if message is not equal to working, it should return false. That means it indicates that workflow failed. Yeah. So it indicates that our workflow failed. If you go and check it on the UI, you can see this red dot. That means our workflow failed. It doesn't give much details in here, but let's pass something like, let's pass working as our message. Yeah, so status change to succeed. It controlled by this return value. It's set to true and return the message. And on the UI, we can see it should have a green dot. Yeah. So that's the basic outline that we covered with StackStorm Docker environment. I was planning to do some kind of small demo, including creating workflows using action chain. Let me check if you have anyone here. No. Okay. I'm going to get out of this workflow and tear it down. Tear it down, I say Docker Compose down, and also I delete all the volumes. And then I'm going to create another pack called, say, PyLadies. I'm going to get my Docker Compose here. I do Docker I got Docker Compose YAML because I can have my Docker Compose for this pack development. When we do adding different uh, workflows, having separate Docker Compose environment makes your development workflow going faster. So that's what I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to create a pack called PyLadies, and I'm using Docker Compose environment to develop that pack. So that's what I'm going to do here. So first, let's see if you have any running Docker instances for StackStorm. I have a console one, which I was using for something. So that means I need that conf file. So I have my conf file and I got my Docker Compose up and running for this pack development. I haven't started any work on writing this pack yet. I'm just getting my Docker Compose environment set ready for this. And I need to make one more change. So this is the Docker Compose environment. If you remember, it was mapping this packs there inside in opt/StackStorm packs there. What I'm going to do is mount my current directory into the container. So inside container, I can access my current directory. This is the change I made. Let's see if it is. As I showed you earlier, we mapped our working directory into OPT PyLadies. See if it is here. Yeah, so we have our working directory inside the container. So that's a good start. And then we'll go ahead and write a new pack called PyLadies, which I don't remember on top of my head, so I have to go and check the documentation. Don't need this. So let's see, packs. Let's see, developing a pack, create and contribute a pack. So we need to create our first pack. So inside in the directory, you need to have pack.yaml, which describe the name, different keywords, and those things will be useful when you submit this into StackStorm Exchange, where we can keep all the important packs. We will talk about important packs after adding example actions we discussed in last section. So let's go ahead and get this up and running, and then we will discuss different packs. So go ahead and change this. So my pack name is that's the basic configuration for the pack. Gives primary information about this pack, and then we need to get our actions. And then we'll add info. So I copied the hello YAML from examples pack into PyLadies pack just to make sure it is working. And then you go into actions. Okay. Let's see. So we have action here. So we have actions here, which is available inside this pack. When I'm developing, this is a workflow I'm using. So I have my workflow directory here. I write actions, and then I have another window open inside the container, which I use to install T2 pack install. Since I'm installing from the local directory, I would say file pwd. If it can run, it is run. Otherwise, it will say, okay, it is not a Git repository. We'll make it a Git repository. initialize at the wrong place. I want to initialize here. So say git in yeah. So when we are installing this pack, installation process picks up packs.yaml and get all those metadata for us from that pack and displayed here. So there is teenage repo version, description, and name. Then we'll see sv2 action list. See if we have pack list. Yes, we have pack list. So we have PyLadies pack here. Then we'll see action list and limit to PyLadies. I can see there's action called PyLadies hello. So we can give a name. So it executed as we expected. It ran hello Dinesh. Remember, we have a directory that we work on our laptop or the workstation we are working on, and which is mapped into the container. From inside the container, I install my pack and get this my workflow running. Let's see, if you want to make a change, what I usually do is make a change, go here and copy action, going to opt StackStorm packs. And then on the action. I have changed. Yeah. So I will add commit this change. And then I'm going to reinstall this. So the change we made is available to us inside the container. Before we move on to discussing different packs available to us, let me see if we have any questions. I guess not. So we discuss how to add different actions on Docker environment. Also, I explain a workflow that I'm using while I explain a workflow I'm using for workflow development. Let's see about different packs. In StackStorm, there's a pack, StackStorm Exchange, where we have all the packs. This is StackStorm Exchange, where you can find different packs. Ansible, Splunk, AWS, Active Directory, GitHub, Slack. There are a bunch of packs. You can go ahead and check those out. We'll go ahead and see if we can write a workflow to send a message to Slack. In order to do that, you will need a webhook and token, which I'm not going to show because they advise not to share that token with anybody. You can create your own and follow along this example. Also, when you're installing pack, it is StackStorm documentation has some good information on packs, from installing pack, using pack, discovering packs, to developing your own packs. We already have our own pack. We're going to install a new pack and write some actions inside our own pack. Installing a pack. Basically, you can save st2 pack install and give the pack name, where you can do different things. For example, you can specify a tag or a branch. We will install AWS from a different branch. Before that, we will see if we can figure out send a message to Slack from StackStorm. So in here, we are in this section now. So I created Slack Chrome for testing. I was testing this last night. First, we need to install Slack pack. If you see st2 pack list, you can see we don't have a Slack pack. in here, we do st2 pack install So I installed this pack. We can list and see if it is available to us. Yes, we can see we have Slack pack that we just installed, and also we have our own pack we working on right now. So I'm going to write a workflow in action chain first, just to send a message to Slack. So my action would be like st2 PyLadies st2 Slack message and message. So this is the format I'm working on right now. I don't have action written, so that's what I'm going to write. We call it Slack message, and then we specify a message as a text string. So we don't have it right now. Let's go see action chains. Creating action chain. First, we have to create a meta file which describes the format of the action, what parameters it accepts. Then we'll create a definition for our action. So this is a sample action chain meta file. Oh, they already have one. There we go. And inside actions, I'm creating one called workflows. So I'm inside PyLadies actions directory. I create a directory called workflows where I'll keep all of my workflows in there. Whereas inside action, I'll keep all meta files. For example, I get this echo channel. I call it Slack message channel. Entry point is inside workflows. We create one called Slack message channel. Enable true. We accept a parameter called message. Yes. Type string required true. So we are creating a file called Slack message inside workflows to define our action. It'll be like this. Inside this one, we are using let's see what action we can use in Slack to send a message to our channel. Let's see, do action list. We have different actions. We want to send a message. We use that post message. Try to use Slack post message. Let's see what does it needs. Send out a heart. And send one to general. I'd like to remind you that we haven't done any configuration yet. So this one will throw an error. When it throws an error, we'll go ahead and fix it. In order to fix that, we will have to configure our Slack pack. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, it failed because we don't have action token here. We'll need to add it. So how we configure Slack pack? So in order to post a message to our Slack channel. In order to do that, we'll go. This is StackStorm Slack pack here. So configuration, you'll have to copy this. And copy it to the location inside StackStorm. So this is inside the container that we are using. opd StackStorm configs /YAML. And then you will have to get the webhook as explained in here, and then token. So we need both webhook URL and this token to make this configuration working. I'll just show you what we need to do. So we need to put our web URL that we generated based on the information from that Slack repository. We'll put it here. We'll put our channel here. It's a default channel. And then the token we are getting from same instruction from the repository we'll put here under token and action token. So I don't have a token right now, but I have one I generated yesterday. I'm not going to share it with you guys, but I'm going to show. I'm going to copy this configuration I saved into there. And then I think it's all configured. I'll try to see one sending hot. Interesting. Let me see if I can figure this out. Just stopping broadcasting for a second. I'm not sure what's wrong with this. Let me see. Okay, so it is having an issue. Let me recreate this environment and see if I can figure this out. I'm going to copy this and save it so I can use it later. And I'm going to copy my configuration into a pretty StackStorm configs, and then try to send this message. So it went through. What I did was I copied the configuration into /opt StackStorm /configs, and then reload StackStorm environment. Then my message went through. Let me see. Yeah. Let me see if I can send a different one. 100%. Yeah. It is working. So we got integrated from StackStorm to Slack. Also, we can get it integrated to work from respond to Slack messages and then do a action inside StackStorm. We'll try to do that one now. We were writing this action. So let's go ahead and finish that one first. We are using Slack message. Set our channel. We have Slack message. Let's try it instead. And let's try to send a message from using file edit's Slack message action. Yeah, it went through. So we wrote an action using action chain to send a message to Slack. And also you can do all of this on the history. Without relogging because we recreated that container. As you can see, we executed that C1 from action chain and sent a message. We can write another. Maybe we can write same thing from mistral. It will be pretty easy to get it started for a simple action like this. In mistral, you have option of using forking, lists, dictionaries. I'm not sure if we have forking in action chains. I haven't used it with action chains, but for a fact, I know that it is available inside Mistral for you to use. We'll go ahead and write the example Mistral workflow. We are specifying sending a message to Slack. There's one thing I wanted to show. Inside ST2 itself, there are examples you can refer to. That's a good source of information to get you started. Let's see if I can find this. These are packs I want to find. Yeah. Yeah, so inside ST2, there are some examples you can use to find out more about these workflows, I'm going to show you a mistral basic workflow. Let's see. Right, Slack message version 2. And if you notice, the runner type is Mistral version 2. We'll say, change the name, Slack message version 2.yaml. Name is Slack message version 2. Pack is 5 days. In this one, we say our message requires string, and then we specify channel, type string, default to general. So that's the basic outline of our workflow, where we have to specify a message, and then our channel is default to general. Inside workflows, we will create Slack message v2. It will be Mistral basic. So it will be similar to action. So my action will have the same structure as this one, whereas my pack is by ladies. So v2. Input is message and channel. Action is like this. Action, I'd say input. In this one, we are using YAQL. It's another query language you can use with Mistral. In order to refer to my input types, I'll be using those YAQLs. I think that's pretty much it for us to send a message using Mistral. Okay, for this one, we'll use UI to run this message, run this action. You can go to action, and we have a pipe called PyAce. We're using this one. Our message is running action from HTTP UI. Panel is general. We'll change it later, and then you say run. So I have an error. Okay, we'll go see what there is. It's like something with Mistral. Let's see. Maybe I made a mistake. Right. Looks like something with Mistral. Let me see if I can get simplest Mistral workflow working in StackStorm Docker. Yeah, looks like I'm having some issues with the Mistral workflow. I'm not sure why. Um, yeah, so let me see if I can figure it out. In the meantime, I'll see if I have any questions. and get a Mistral example from the website and make it run. Mistral Basic. We can run Mistral Basic inside PyLadies. Nice. There's Mistral PyLadies, and then get the action. So I'm gonna run this action st2 run. Okay. If this one is having issues, I think I need to go and talk to StackStorm developers about it. Yeah, I think either I haven't done configuration properly or something. There's something going on with the Docker instance, which I haven't seen before. Yeah, so that's all I have. That's all I was planning to cover. We have different ways writing workflows, including action chain and Mistral. You can use Python to write action and map them as workflows. There are a lot of packs available in StackStorm Exchange. Come and join StackStorm Slack channel, ask questions. StackStorm developers are very willing to help on the Slack channel. if you have any questions related to this session, please send me an email, xydinesh@gmail.com. You can find more information on my GitHub, github.com, xydinesh, or on Twitter, xydinesh. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have. Thank you. Have a great day.